Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge. Who is Rasmus Hojlund and what does he bring to Manchester United? There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of talk, but I don't see any real analysis on Rasmus Hojlund and what he brings to the club. There are positives, but I also think in the negatives, you can find the positives of what he can become as well. Because what people need to realise is he's 20 years of age, ridiculously raw, and there has to be things that are developed. There has to be flaws in his game or improvements in his game to take him to the next level, whilst also acknowledging the things that he does well. And I think you'll see from what we're about to look at here, there's some really interesting aspects to his game. So first things we're going to look at is we're going to look at offensive duels. I think this is fascinating. Now straight away, you should notice that the top 5 for offensive duels in Serie A last season all play for unfashionable clubs. You've got Torino, you've got Udinese, Atalanta as well, a couple of Atalanta players there, which shows you that, no, there's no Victor Osimhen, there's no Dzeko. Why is that? Well, quite simply, Rasmus Hojlund and Isaac Success, good name because he was positioned as number 1. So they basically, what's happening there is you've got players that are doing more work because when a lower league team is playing a higher league team, they're going to have to work really hard to try and win the ball back because these teams predominantly are on the front foot. They're aggressive. They want more possession. So you're having to work hard. So it's not a surprise that it's not Victor Osimhen and Dzeko and Vlahovic in the top 5 there. It doesn't mean they don't work hard. But what it does show you is, and the big reason I wanted to show that, Rasmus Hojlund second for offensive duels in Serie A last season, is that he's 20 years of age. Those other strikers in there will be mid-20s. No one's as young as Rasmus Hojlund. And at that age, he's already putting himself physically about. That's what we're talking about. He's a physical striker. When we're looking at these stats, we're looking at the type of player he is. And if he's doing that, and he's not really established himself as playing every single game for Atalanta yet. If he's doing that at 20 years of age, imagine what he's going to do over the future years. It shows a fearlessness. It shows a physicality. And he is physical. He's very physical for a 20-year-old. So look, straight away what we're looking at there is the ability to put his foot in, put his body on the line and get involved. And that is certainly something we need when you think about instigating the press, running around a lot. If you're getting into offensive duels a lot, you are working hard. You are running around a lot. And that's what you will get with Rasmus Hojlund. The second thing I want to show you is offensive duels in... not offensive duels. Most shots per 90 in Serie A last season. Now, you've read that right. Rasmus Hojlund, 31st. Osimhen top, Martinez... Latoro, of course, Raspadori, Dzeko, and then Rasmus Hojlund, number 31. And I show you this because it can't always just be about the positive. Sometimes it's got to be about the improvement. Now, Rasmus Hojlund at Atalanta is not getting many shots per 90. He's just not. That's just not happening. You can see that quite there. Now, some would, again, this is how you read stats. This is why I'm not a massive fan of stats if you don't delve into them. That, to me, is... Rasmus Hojlund is 31st out of all the players in Serie A for shots on target. And Victor Osimhen's number 1. So the obvious thing is go and get Victor Osimhen. But what if I said to you that the shot accuracy when he gets those chances is 55%? He's 31st for shots per game, but 55% accuracy when he does it. Osimhen's 40%. Martinez is 43%. And Dzeko is 34%. What does that say to me? I'm not bothered about how many shots he's getting per game because in a United team, you'd expect him to be in the top 5 in the Premier League next year. But his shots on target, very, very good. So again, you'll get rival people who don't really want Rasmus Hojlund going, oh my God, he's absolutely rubbish in front of goal. He's 31st in the league for shots. But he does that's not a bad reflection on him because that's him. That's him when he can only shoot when he's got a chance to shoot. And when he does shoot, he's got a very good accuracy on it. The next thing I want to show you is most dribbles per 90 in Serie A last season. Now, this to me is absolutely fascinating because this is going to feed in lovely with something else I'm going to show you in a moment, which is going to be touches in the box. And I'll talk to you about that in a moment. But Rasmus Hojlund is certainly a player that runs the channels and picks up the ball and carries it. So most of those players you're looking at there in the top 4, in fact, I would argue all of them are wide players. Certainly Boga, Di Maria, I'm trying to be all continental with you here. But mostly they're wingers in the top 10. And then you've got Rasmus Hojlund, who is not a winger, in the top 10, in position 9. To me, this is fantastic. This is a winger. He's not a winger, but he's in there with wingers for Serie A last season for most dribbles. He's a striker. That shows you that he's picking up the ball in wide positions. He's picking up the ball in central positions. He's strong. Going back to those offensive duels, he's holding the ball up and then he's moving and carrying the ball. And we 100% need this. With people like Rashford and Bruno and Anthony in the team, who we know like to get involved in shots themselves, absolutely essential. Absolutely essential. And again, a different side to his game. You won't see Victor Osimhen in the top 10. You won't see Dzeko in the top 10. This is something that is unique to Rasmus Hojlund's game. And then this feeds lovely into most touches in the box last season. He is third for most touches in the box last season, which is incredible for a player like Rasmus Hojlund. Remember, we're talking about a 20-year-old here. Look at the age profile of all those players. I think every single one of them is over 25, I think, or around that. Rasmus Hojlund's 20. Most touches in the box in Serie A last season. Rasmus Hojlund in third place with amongst players like that. Absolute quality players. It's incredible. And I'll tell you why it's incredible. Because if we go back to what we were talking about before, if he's third in the league for most touches in the box, but then when you look at this, he's 31st in the league for shots per 90, then quite right, you would say, how can he be third in the league for touches in the box, but 31st in the league for shots on target? And I'll tell you why. It's hold-up play. It's link-up play. It's driving with the ball. He's third in the league for touches in the box, but he is 31st in the league for shots because he's not receiving it and shooting. He's receiving it and laying it off. He's receiving it by running into the box. You know, a touch in the box, you can have the ball and dribble 9 metres and be in the box for 1 metre because you've dribbled there. It's still a touch in the box. And that's what I'm saying about Rasmus Hojlund. He's very good at getting you into the penalty box. He's not very good at getting chances in the box and shooting in the box, which tells me this is a hard-working striker who can progress the ball and get you where you need to be through his own hard work and ability, whether it's dribbling, whether it's receiving the ball in the box and holding it up. But definitely there's a weakness that isn't necessarily his fault in relation to actual goals and actual shots. And that to me is detrimental in relation to his the team that's around him. And United could certainly look at helping that. Because then finally, when you look at this, and the big question I think you have to ask, yes, we've got a strong striker here. Yes, we've got a young striker here with a lot of talent. Yes, we've got a striker here that can dribble with the ball as well. Some really unique talents that would help United. A strong, mobile, carrier, dribbler of the ball, who can hold the ball up, 20 years of age, left-footed. He's got all those attributes. But can he score goals? Because that's what we want in a striker. And then you look at this. Best chance conversion rate in Serie A last season. Some of these are ridiculous. But, I mean, look, Arnautovic. And look, you don't need to be Victor Osimhen. Maybe Victor Osimhen and Dzeko and all these other strikers in Serie A, maybe they're getting 5 or 6 chances a game and they're only scoring 1 or 2. You know, maybe their chance conversion rate isn't that good. It doesn't mean that these players are the best players in the league. It just means that they're, you know, most efficient with their shots. I mean, look, Arnautovic, maybe this was why Erik ten Hag was looking at him. He's number 2. Simeone at Napoli. These are not the household names of Serie A football, but what I'm interested in is Rasmus Hojlund. That's not a terrible chance conversion rate. He's in the top 10. He's in the top 10 in Serie A for chance conversion rate. And we know he doesn't get that many chances. So when I look at it, I'm basically saying this. This is why I'm very excited about Rasmus Hojlund, because I look at Manchester United and yeah, we do want Harry Kane. And why do we want Harry Kane? Because Harry Kane is good at linking up the play. He's good at progressing the ball. He's not a great dribbler, but he will turn and move with it. We've seen Harry Kane carrying the ball. We know he's a brilliant world-class striker. We know he's physical. But we're not going to get Harry Kane. And then I look at Rasmus Hojlund and I go, well, he's 20 years of age. With the right coach and the right development, with the attributes that he's got 10 years on Harry Kane. In 5 years, what could he be if we improve everything else? And I look at him and I go, he can dribble. He's physical. You know, he gets involved in those duels. He gets into the box, whether he's carrying it himself or holding it up or whatever. Left-footed, love a left-footed striker. Most touches in the box. Good accuracy with his shots. Good conversion rate when he actually does shoot. But the biggest weakness to his game is he's not getting many shots off. He's not getting many chances. You ask me what I want at United. I want a striker that can score goals, and I think he can. I want a striker that can lead the press, close down, work hard, and he can. I want a striker that can run the channels, and if there isn't anything on, he can carry the ball and dribble the ball, and he can. And I think looking at just one season, because that's basically all you've got with Rasmus Hojlund, just looking at one season and where he is comparable to others, and I know stats can be manipulated, and I know stats will be different off different stat site. They're not 100%. But looking at those specific areas, I think it gives you a glimpse into the player he is. Raw, needs development, but he will score goals if he's given opportunities. He will get you in the box. He will press. He will harry. He will be physical, and he will dribble the ball, and he will run the channels. I think he's absolutely perfect for what we need. There is an element of risk, but I think he's the right player for Manchester United, and I think we've got the right manager to take him to the next level, and I'm very excited about it. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Make sure you smash a like if you like that video, because we can do more like that, delving into the deeper side of stats and what it actually means. I'm thinking about doing Amrabat next. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.